Hello there. My name is Matt Green. I'm the co-founder of Juris Digital. We are a digital marketing agency who specializes in helping law firms reach their growth goals. So specifically, law firms come to us when they realize that their growth has stalled and what has gotten them to where they are isn't going to take them to the next level. We offer elevated digital marketing services that help them break through that plateau. So an area that I see a ton of confusion around when it comes to SEO, search marketing for law firms, is an understanding of keywords. People tend to make this more complex than it really is. In my assessment, this is in line with the broad consensus of the SEO digital marketing community. There's three types of keywords, really. There's what we would call a navigational keyword, which generally indicates that someone's looking for a specific brand or product. So if you searched Nike Air Force Ones, that would be a navigational search query. For law firms, a navigational query would be like Morgan & Morgan's business litigation firm. Right? You're trying to navigate to something that you already understand. So it's a navigational query. Then there's informational search queries. This is where you're trying to gather information on a topic. If I search something like, what's the statute of limitations for a personal injury? That's clearly an informational query. I could search, is my non-compete agreement enforceable in Texas? Informational query. And then the third type is what's known as a transactional keyword or a commercial keyword. These are the keywords that pops into everybody's head when they think about SEO and organic search marketing. This is where, they haven't chosen who they're going to do business with. They don't necessarily know exactly what they need, but they know they need something. They know they need help. And so in the legal space, if someone were to search something like best employment lawyer near me, transactional keyword, lawyer for suing car dealerships, transactional keyword. Best litigation law firms in Dallas, it's transactional keyword. So those are the three main types. It's navigational, informational, transactional. And generally, the level of competition to rank for those type of keywords is linear. So for navigational keywords, your firm's brand name, for instance, that's low competition, right? We can pretty much own that immediately. Once your website's up and we've built profiles on Yelp, LinkedIn, and all the important places, we can own your navigational searches pretty quickly. There's low competition for that. Informational, less competitive than transactional or commercial keywords, but definitely more competitive than navigational, right? Because informational keywords can lead to money. For instance, I have a client who specializes in non-compete agreements. He's got a blog where we address all sorts of questions surrounding non-compete agreements in Texas. For him, informational queries are not only competitive, they're lucrative. Often someone who ends up hiring a lawyer to review their non-compete agreement starts their search with, is my non-compete enforceable? Can I get sued if I break my non-compete? Can my employer prevent me from taking a new job if I signed a non-compete? So those informational keywords are highly effective at driving the business outcomes that we want, but still certainly less competitive than the transactional keywords. Then transactional keywords, best personal injury lawyer near me. Every personal injury firm in your area who's a competitor of yours, who's investing in search marketing, wants to rank for that. It's the common denominator, right? It's the category search of, if I'm a personal injury lawyer in Chicago, I want to rank for personal injury lawyer in Chicago, because people search when they need a personal injury lawyer in Chicago, or personal injury lawyer near me. So those are going to be the highest competition. Those are going to be generally the keywords that people buy ads on. You're not normally seeing people buy pay-per-click ads for informational keywords. You're generally seeing it for commercial keywords. There's a reason for that, right? And that reason is that the prospect or buyer funnel matches up really nicely with our three tiers of keywords. If someone searches an informational keyword, they're probably in the middle of the road in terms of the buyer journey. So if we think of the buyer journey as a funnel, all the informational type keywords are really high up in the funnel. There's a lot of people searching those, but they're not all going to become potential customers. And then as we narrow our way down to transactional keywords, we get lower and lower in that funnel. So if somebody searches child custody law. That's a pretty broad informational keyword that maybe they're considering getting divorced in the future and they want to bone up on that. Maybe they're writing a research paper. Maybe they're a journalist. They're high up in the funnel. If somebody searches, how much does a child custody lawyer cost? Maybe they're lower down, right? Still an informational query, but that person is ostensibly considering hiring a lawyer. Then finally, if somebody searches best custody lawyer near me, they're at the bottom of the funnel. They're ready to talk to somebody. They're ready to get a consultation and move forward with that service with someone. Hopefully that helps disambiguate this idea of keywords and the importance and context of each. One more thing I want to add is that different types of keywords require necessarily different types of content. So you're not going to try to rank for best car accident lawyer near me with a blog post on 10 steps to take after a car accident, right? It's very important that your SEO provider have a really solid grasp of what content is required based on the target keyword. Hopefully that's helpful context as you think about making an investment in organic search.